Now, you're aware that there's this new drone video that's been looked at, and the Air Force believes that Chapman survived and that he had to fight and that he was alive. And you also are aware that there's been criticism that you left him behind. How do you respond to that?
Well, I can tell you, we left no one behind. No one, right? What I saw, what I experienced, I know that clearly. But we didn't leave anyone behind up there. I wasn't more than 20, 30 feet away from where John was, and that was my experience. What I want people to focus on is that, it's called Roberts Ridge now because we lost, right, 6 other people up there, total of 7, right? 7 Americans we lost up there. There were just as many severely wounded. Everyone at some level was impacted by this fight. So not a day goes by. I'm responsible for all these guys. Not a day goes by that I'm not thinking of that.
So originally you said you had to land on the mountain. You had to go to the objective, but why did you have to land on the X? Didn't you break protocol by landing on the X, which is against protocol? Why did you do that?
So the original plan was to land, so as a leader, my job is to accomplish my mission with the least amount of risk to my force. To do that, I was going to land at another location and then make my movement on foot to the top of the mountain. There were other changes that forced me to adapt my plan, that forced me to go to the top of the mountain.
And what were those changes?
Well, I wasn't aware of them. I was told I needed to be in position by sunup, and that's what I did. So, going back to, if I could make that decision point for you, making that decision to go back. And so I have all those tactical thoughts running through my mind. And then I'm certain at this point also that this is a one-way trip. Like I said, superior force I'm going against. Odds are definitely not in my favor, but it is probably Neil's only chance. And I'm sorting all through this in my head. This thought is in the back of my mind. Very vividly remember it sitting there on that helicopter, and it's the Boy Scout oath. It's on my honor, I'll do my best. On my honor, I'll do my best. On my honor, I'll do my best. Repeatedly, that phrase. So as I give the order to move out, crawling across the ground to send my wounded guy first, because it's going to take him the longest time to go. Then from that, I crawl over to John. Crawl over the top of John looking for some sign of life from him, and I didn't get any, no movement, no sound or anything from him. And then make the decision, we're going to continue on, relocate over the side of the mountain, which is just over the hill. It wasn't more than 20 feet, just to get out of the direct fire with them shooting straight at us.
Do you think that Chapman survived?
Well, it wasn't what I experienced, it wasn't what I saw. I can't get on my radio, change frequencies quick enough to talk to them, to tell them do not land on top before they get, they themselves had another RPG hit the engine, and then they crashed on top.
And why didn't you radio them beforehand so that they knew that you'd already had a helicopter hit there?
So in the situation that we're in, it was our radios had a limited range on how far I could transmit on them.
I'm going to read you something that I'm sure you're familiar with because it's been published. This is from a transcript of an interview you did with Malcolm McPherson for his 2005 book on Roberts Ridge. And it says, talk about funny stuff that we did. After I shot this dude in the head, there was a guy that had his feet sticking out of some little rut or something over here. He was dead, but I mean, got nerves. I shot him 20 times in the legs, and every time you kick him or shoot him, he would kick up, and you could see his body twitching, all that. It was like a game, good therapy. Why'd you say that?
Well, that doesn't sound exactly, but what I remember, if you could hear the whole clip of that, you would have heard that that was an enemy combatant. He was still actively engaging our forces that were only feet away from him. And that was just a small piece of the larger story. But I can tell you, after that 26 years of service, every day of it, I served with honor and integrity. Every day.
So you think this was taken out of context?
I know it was taken out of context.
And then there was some criticism about a 2007 operation in Helmand where you're accused of sending Blue Squadron out to bring a head back on a platter. Did you do that?
Jennifer, every day, 26 years, honor and integrity. I did not waver, not for a moment.